Hello. Once again, the Daily Mail have won through with "Don't eat pasta once more than once a week." Why is that a headline? And someone going, "Oh!" It's just, you are ridiculous, Mail. You are ridiculous. Corbyn, EU migration isn't too high. Corbyn said a thing you're definitely going to disagree with.
Maybe we should talk about that. Maybe we should talk about Jeremy Corbyn's intervention after being much criticised.
Yes.
Let's see if they've got anything. Well, this is interesting. Yeah, hold up that page with Jeremy Corbyn. This is the Daily Mail's coverage. Yeah. And yeah, you can see on the other side they've got David Cameron at the call, the phone in place.
Yeah.
And then you've got Jeremy Corbyn. The Times, on the other hand,
got a normal picture of them on the phone.
Yeah, has got PM at the call-in centre and Jeremy Corbyn, migration isn't too high. A wide range of opinions in the newspapers on this. It shows the Times isn't actually much better than the Daily Mail.
Well, yeah, I mean, genuinely, over the years, I saw the Times change. Some people would probably argue that my opinion changed, that's what it is, but you know, years ago I used to try and read a much broader range of newspapers, and including the broadsheet Times, and I saw it deteriorate and go towards the Daily Mail. It never went all the way, but and then when it went to tabloid, I wasn't surprised. It kind of fit. It's like it turned into a relatively sensible tabloid, whereas the Telegraph didn't for years.
Yeah. Interestingly, I find it quite interesting. The Jeremy Corbyn intervention, the EU affair, was quite big news yesterday. I mean, it got widespread coverage on the TV, and yeah, it seems to be a fairly small sort of affair in the newspapers.
I suppose the Corbyn thing, the way they have to present it, it's got to be a little. Well, I can't quite remember what it was, but it's probably bad.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, Jeremy Corbyn. I mean, what do you think of the intervention? Do you think it will have an effect? Does it affect the way you look at the issue?
No. Occam's razor says he's a man of principle. He could have been, by opposing it, he could have got a lot of political capital out of that. So he's obviously gone with what's the best decision, and this is coming from someone who is a Eurosceptic, in the true sense of the word. He is sceptical of the EU, but he's not Europhobic. I
actually think that the Jeremy Corbyn intervention is incredibly important to the Remain campaign, because a lot of people, especially on the left, they're saying, the issue is, if you look, Nigel Farage on Daily Politics today was actually quite objective and made some reasonable points. And he pointed out that the Leave campaign, people who are interested in Leave, are much more dedicated to, much more politically engaged than the Remain.
Yeah, well, by its nature, because we want to leave or we want to stay. Stay is no change.
And you can see that if you look on sort of like the Google Trends, if you go to Google Trends, they've got the EU referendum up there, and you look at it, and it splits the amount of search dedicated to Brexit and the amount of search dedicated to Remain. And the amount of search traffic to Brexit is much more than Remain. People who want to leave the EU are actively going onto the internet and they're searching for the information.
Because it's emotive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of that.
The Leave is emotive, the Remain is sort of dry and boring.
Yeah. The Remainers aren't quite so engaged. So, I mean, there seems to be a lot of nervousness that actually the Brexit side of things have got the momentum and Remain's not doing its job. And that really it's going to be the Labour lefties who are a little bit like that, that they need to secure that block to...
Yeah, the right have all made up their minds one way or the other, haven't they? Yeah.
And Jeremy Corbyn is incredibly influential to that sort of block of voters.
Yeah. Us, basically.
Yeah, us. And I have to admit, when I was watching it, I thought, wow, because I'm really I'm really on the edge. Yeah, I mean, when you actually start looking at the issue, all you can see with Europe is problems.
Yeah.
It is undemocratic. Yeah. It's been hijacked by neoliberals.
Bloated and spending loads of money and etc.
Yeah, and you look at what it's done to Greece, and how it seems to be basically Germany central. Well, Germany has all the
seems to
power.
be benefiting Germany and nobody else.
Yeah, you start looking at it like that, and there are genuine doubts, and when you try and be objective, there's some real concerns there, which aren't really echoed by the Remain. Similarly, with the Leave campaign, you never get the pros of being in Europe.
Yeah.
And we looked at it, and I think basically we've concluded that
That's rubbish.
the decision is yes, there will be a short-term economic impact from leaving Europe, probably medium as well. But in the long term, you are sacrificing sovereignty. There's no doubt about it. And you've got to decide.
Well, yeah, you can't have both.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Where it's going to lie.
But nobody has said that.
No.
Everybody is either that or that side. No, nothing in between. No.
But I mean, another important intervention that Jeremy Corbyn made was criticising this £9 million leaflet that's gone to everyone in the country. And I've received my copy. Have you received yours?
No, I don't know if my wife threw it away or burnt it.
Well, I've received it. I haven't read it, and I'm not going to read it. And to be honest with you, I'm a bit. You can see it's unfair. I mean, there is something about the British personality that they like fairness, and the fact that before the campaign has officially started, the government has basically put out this £9 million piece of. It is propaganda.
Yeah.
In the favour. That just doesn't seem right.
It's not right at all, is it? Yeah. And where the money is coming from, etc.
And it's stunts like that will mean that the issue isn't settled after the referendum.
Yeah.
Because the editors will say, well, actually, it was a rigged race. People, the government was spending money before the campaign even kicked off. Therefore, we haven't had a proper, fair, and legitimate referendum.
Which will be said anyway, actually, but it will be true.
I get the sense Nigel Farage knows that they're not going to win this. I think he's changing his persona.
Getting ready to
say
it wasn't fair.
Yeah.
Trump stuff.
Afterwards to try and start the drum beat again for another referendum in say 5 years' time. Yeah. So the Corbyn intervention, I think it's more important than it's being made out. A lot of the questions about it are, well, how much does Corbyn actually like the EU, and put a percentage figure on it, and your Remainers saying, I think it's about 70%, and then the people who are against, I think it's actually more like 20%. There's no doubt about it. He's actually really a leaver, but I think he's actually articulating the argument that a great swathe of the people feel about it, which they're not being addressed. It's either
one or the other,
full on in or full on out. These two, they've got their little camps, but the normal person. Yeah,
well, it's because the right control the majority of the media, etc., etc. So therefore, it's presented in those terms because that's how the right are about it.
David Cameron has lost a lot of credibility this week.
Again,
last week.
The week before that.
And I think really, he's relying on Jeremy Corbyn a little bit.
He's not going to say that one out loud, though, is he? Iraq War report may come before the EU vote.
Do you think that'll have an impact on the referendum?
I don't know. It's a quite complicated relationship, isn't it?
Well, the Out campaign are trying to drum up this support from the anti-establishment sentiment, which Jeremy Corbyn's pretty much got sewn up.
Yeah.
But if this was to hit just before the referendum, Tony Blair is very much an establishment figure. It could have a negative impact on the Remain campaign. Trust in the establishment is starting to run at an all-time low.
Yeah. See you next week.